Good morning, good people, fellow humans. And how do we spell that? Huemonds. Yeah, good morning. Here we are. It is December 1st, first day of December 2024, the last day of the last month of the year. No, not last day of the month, first day of the month, last month of the year. This is the last day on our neuroscience-oriented approach to success. Week 4, day 7. Tomorrow we start week 1, day 1. So it's the beginning and the end of many things. The beginning of the Christmas season, I guess, because it's now December. End of the Thanksgiving season, I guess, because it's December. And here we are. We few, we happy few, we band of brothers. So we are in southwestern Nevada, west of Sin City and east of Death Valley. Let's see what the temperature is. The temperatura. It is, the temperature is 36. Wow. Okay, sunrise is going to be at 6:37 this morning. I've already done my 10 minutes of stretching and 10 minutes of yoga. And I've got to tell you, it's kind of tough today. Maybe because I had a great dinner last night at the McKenna's house, celebrating Lee's 62nd birthday. So it was good. Good company. Alex, Emmeline, his fiance, Lee, and Kathy. And wow. So good wine, good conversation, prime rib, lobster, and a cake. Cool. Boom. But here we are today, Sunday morning. Got to get at it. I have a lot of work to do. And I have a church at 7:30 at the Lutheran Church, Pastor Andy. And then back, get my work caught up for the week. This is the final week of my class. One class to go, one class left. And then the final paper to be turned in on the 14th in 2 weeks. So what is our themo of today? Our theme of today is a four-legged table. Four-legged table. So before we get into that, a couple things to talk about. What is our goal? Why are we here? What is our purpose? Our purpose is to help people through this life with the belief that we have a transcendent soul, that this is not all there is, and that what happens next is related to what happens now. So what happens to us in the future is related to what happens now. We really don't have a belief that all you have to do is believe. On the thing of it's better to act the way Jesus said, which is to do, to love God, to love one another, and to make disciples. And then the examples that he gave. I have not seen in Scripture anywhere where Jesus says, here's what I want you to do. Pray for your salvation. Read the Torah. Follow the laws. I think he said many times in the Sermon on the Mount, many times you have heard it said, which is the law, but here's what I say to you. So in other words, the law says this, but I'm saying that. So I don't think I have not seen in Scripture, nor has anybody told me where Jesus said, all you need to do is believe. Well, it does say you need to believe in him. And you can take that to mean believe that he is who he said, or follow his commandments, which is what he actually said. If you love me, you will follow my commandments. And the commandments are to love God, love one another, and make disciples. And then he gives examples on how to do that, like in the Beatitudes, like in the Sermon on the Mount, like in Matthew 25, where you are to help the hungry, the thirsty, the sick, the unclothed, the unhoused, and people incarcerated. So anyway, our thing is action, contemplatives in action. People who pray and worship God, but are action-oriented, not, I only care about my salvation. No, I have to care about your salvation. I'm going to help you get there too, because you probably haven't had the benefits that I've had. So our goal is to help people on that journey headed towards that destination. And I would say you don't have anything to lose. We're not saying you're saved by works. We're saying you're saved by grace, but you're called to do things. You show me your faith, and I'll show you my works. Faith without works is dead. Okay, so that's our goal. How do we do it? We do it through the worksheet down below, here, there, everywhere. We do it through the worksheet. Good morning, Wada Bevy. We do it through the worksheet, but we also do it through showing up, because showing up is a good habit. Showing up to interact with other people is a good habit. And it's about repetition, repetition, repetition. Consistency, just a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. It's like working out, right? When you go work out, it gets easier. So you increase the intensity to keep that level of intensity. You do a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. You're doing the same amount of work. Maybe, well, you're doing a lot more work, but it's not really much harder because you're used to doing it. So how is the bus ride? What a bevy, what not a bevy? How is the bus ride? Awesome, cool. How's the weather? How's the weather? Is it wetter or drier? We are in Savannah, Georgia. Has the bus stopped in Georgia? Cold. Okay, cool. Well, while we're talking about that, let's look at Seth Godin thinking about jobs. And Seth Godin is about my age. He said, since I was born, the planet has invented 6 billion jobs, 6 billion jobs. Technology is said to threaten the replacement of human labor. Yet somehow we found useful activities for a rapidly growing population. Coordinated without a coordinator. People go to work each day, often doing something that's only vaguely related to their own sustenance. We show up and create value for strangers we might never meet. And somehow, all that effort comes together in just the right way. And then we do it all again tomorrow. And once someone achieves success and probably doesn't have to do a job to feed their family, they not only show up to work some more, they often put in even more time and emotional energy than we'd expect. It's a system, a largely invisible one. Sometimes we notice it when it creates inequities, unwelcome side effects, and dead ends. But we often fail to notice that it has rebuilt our culture from the ground up, redefining how we spend our days and where we might find meaning. We shouldn't take it for granted, not if we want to make it better. Good. Okay. And let's see, our advice from an 80-year-old is have a firm handshake. All right, firm handshake, look the person in the eye, repeat their name. Hi, Joe. My name's Ed. Hi, Ed. I'm Todd. I'm Tucker. Okay, and Watabevy knows how that one ends up, right? Hi, Todd. I'm Tucker. Let us proceed on loquitur. All right, a four-legged table. Let's think about a table for a second. Let's picture a four-legged table. Four-legged table. Picture it in your mind, a four-legged table. And yes, F. Tucker sucks. Beep. Okay, picture a four-legged table. And picture it having sturdy legs, strong legs securely attached. And then start stacking things on that table. And figure out how many things you could stack on that table. And as you're stacking things on the table, is it the weight of the things might collapse the table, or is it they're getting so high that they might fall off the table? Just keep stacking things on that table. Get an appreciation for the table, that solid, those four solid legs on the table. And maybe you can, on your stack, put another tabletop on there so you can build another layer. So it more evenly distributes the weight. Figure out how high can you get it. Can you put a bigger top on the stack than the original stack? So now you can stack even more things because you have a really, really solid base in the four legs. Now imagine that somehow one of those legs became a little bit shorter than the other. What happens? If you put more weight on the shorter end of the leg table, what happens to the other side? Well, that leg, if you put weight on that corner, right, that corner is going to dip down. So you're only going to have three legs in contact at any given time. And so what is the value of the fourth leg at this point? It doesn't really have any value unless the weight shifts, right? And then that one will come down. And what happens if the short leg breaks off? So now you have three legs. So what do you have to never do? Can't shift any weight down to that corner because nothing will stop it. And the stuff on the top will what? Slide off. Right. So think about that table as you. And the things that are stacked on the table are your ideas, your accomplishments, the things that your imagination, all of those things are what you stack on the table. So it's vital to have what? Four solid legs of the same height. And that way you can stack more. So one of the things we ultimately want to do here is shore up the legs of our table. Make them strong legs, firmly attached. Because if the leg snaps off, what's going to happen? Any weight that was on that end is going to cause the table to shift and things will slide off the table. And when they slide off, they could break. Oh no. So that's what we ultimately want to do, is build a solid table that we can put a lot of stuff on, a lot of weight. We can bear up the weight and it's not going to be collapsing the table. It's not going to be crushing it, but we're going to be able to put maximum weight on there, maximum stability, And so those 4 legs are fitness, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. Those are the legs of the table. You need all 4. You especially need the spiritual one if you have a belief that we have a transcendent soul. Okay, so today I got to get ready for church. We're going to call it a day. We're 15 in. And so I am going to say, unless there's anything else, what not a bevy, I'm going to say cut, because in about an hour I have to be on the road and I got to get on the peloton and a whole bunch of other stuff to do. So with that, I'm going to say and cut. Thanks that you're there. Have a good trip. I'll talk to you later. Call you tonight.